Hey everyone. So excited to be here. We're at day 5 of the Awakened Women series. And oh my goodness, I have been getting emails and texts from you that if you haven't joined live and you've been following the replays, I've been loving hearing the stories of who experience big shifts, who are living their lives a little bit differently, just even in the short time that we've been together, what's been opening up for some of you. It's just been so fun to connect and hear your stories. And this is a Friday. It's like this is two parts of me. I'm a little sad that it comes to a close today, but also a little excited because I've seen so much growth in the week. And I think, oh my God, what could be available to them if we were going for even longer? So what I want to do, hey Lisa, hey Cassie, Angela, Fiona, so fun to see all of you again. What I want to do is to look at what is your number one biggest block. What is getting in the way of you standing and experiencing your greatest joy, your greatest impact, your greatest power that you can have? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to get underneath the covers and figure it out. So when I say your number one largest energetic block, really what I'm talking about is when we experience things in life, whether it's traumas or deep upsets or disappointments, or maybe somebody yelled at us about something. I was working with a woman the other day in one of my groups, and I gave her this song or something that sounded like the song, and she goes, I know exactly what that's from. And I said, what? And she said, when I was in the 4th grade, I went to sing in The Wizard of Oz, the song about the munchkins, and the teacher told me not to sing, that my voice wasn't good enough, just mouth it. And from that moment on, I shut down my voice. And so we have all had these kinds of experiences in our lives when in the moment it doesn't seem like a big thing, or maybe she went home and cried and then felt like she got over it. But the experience of that shocking moment of somebody in authority telling you to close your voice and just mouth it had this lifelong effect on her. And so I would call that an energy block. That's something that's within our energy that's causing us to hold back, to remember that it's not safe to do something, to try to work around it. Now, as we grow up and we can sort of frame that experience for ourselves, what we're also understanding is that it wasn't our problem. Maybe this woman was a perfectionist, whatever it is. So we try to put some logic around our experience. We do a lot of, people have done a lot of therapy work around it to help them understand it or frame it or to work more closely with it. But really what happens is that, so you could process it out, but unless you get at the energy of that moment, because think about it, when you had an issue in your life, it almost takes you aback. Like it's like one of those, what do they call them? Like sucker punches. It sort of stops you in some way or jolts you, and in that moment your energy freezes, or that experience gets lodged in your body in the form of energy. So just put in the chat if that's ever happened to you at any time in your life. I'm curious about how many of you will know, like, yep, that's happened to me. Hi, Latrice and Jennifer and Julie. Oh, so nice to see the same names every day. I hope you're getting a lot out of this. So as you're writing in the chat, maybe what the incident was, you don't have to write the story around it, but just get clear for yourself. what do you think if you go back in time to that moment? Like, so take a deep breath and go back to the time that you were maybe 6, 7, 2, 3, 5. And think about in that moment when somebody said something or did something or you experienced something, what got frozen in you? So it could be a feeling, it could be fear, it could be, oh, it's not safe. You might have started to shrink yourself down, or in the case of my client, not use her voice. So take a moment, think about an experience you had that you know you frozen and that it really sort of impacted your life. And what I want you to do is say what it is, not what the experience was, but where it got stuck in your body. So everyone said yes to the have you had the experience. Um, so let's see, where did the energy get stuck in your body? Hi, Gina. So Samantha said yes, and it was fear that got stuck. Mindy said, I don't have any memories of my younger years. So that's telling all in itself. I work with a lot of people that don't have memories of their younger years because a lot of times when we experience what we perceive as deep trauma to ourselves, we sort of disconnect from it. So we don't consciously carry it with us anymore, but it lives in our subconscious. And the energy of it still is in your body. So Mindy, I want you to post in the group, where do you feel tightness or constriction in your body? Or some of you might have constant or chronic pain somewhere. That's usually a place where energy got stuck. Okay, so Acacia says, my whole life I'm becoming more aware of these incidences as I parent my kids, because in doing so, things come to the light. You're absolutely right. Alicia says, root chakra stuck in fear, throat and chest. Yes, in my chest. Yes, in my chest. There's a lot of, in your chest is usually heart chakra issues. Some feel it in their second chakra, fear, not sure where it's stuck. Definitely my chest, my breathing. Yep, fear stuck in my chest, my health issues causing me my blocks. Okay, burning in my shoulders. So let me just quickly go down, and I'm not going to cover everything that can happen in the different chakras, but just so you have more of a relationship with it. If you feel fear, tightness, like unsure of what you're even doing in the world, or do I really have the right to exist? That's usually root chakra stuff. Our second chakra is all about our sensuality and our sexuality, and also about our creativity and whether we allow ourselves to be who we are. Our third chakra, which is right over our solar plexus, is around us being able to be our powerful selves and being able to carry and hold our power and how we express that out in the world. And like this morning, I was working with this beautiful woman, very lovely. And when she came in, like I saw her, but I didn't really see her because all her power was out with everyone else. And what I said to her the first thing was like, oh my gosh, you're like here, but you're not really here. Like there's cords going from you, energetic cords going from you to everyone else. And it's like you hand over your power to them. And I had never met this woman before. And what she came in for was she was seeking her own validation and her own value. So this is how handing over our power looks. Like if we don't feel validated or we don't value ourselves, then we'll hand it over to another, believing that they will validate us. If you're feeling it in your chest or you're having trouble breathing, it's usually your heart chakra that's closed up. That in some way there's a concern about you being fully open and loving and vulnerable and connected. So it could have been as a child you got scolded for crying all the time, or one woman I talked to had abandonment issues her whole life. And it turns out that her mom one day said, "I'm leaving." And the mom put on the coat and walked around the corner and came back. But in that little 3-year-old self, she was fighting with her brother. And that little, she was 3 years old. She said, I still remember it. She could detail the mom's coat. And she said, in that moment, that little girl, even though the mom walked back probably 5 minutes later, she felt abandoned. She felt that she's not lovable or good enough for people to stay. And so she had this whole lifetime of abandonment from that one experience. So sometimes we have these experiences and they lodge so dramatically. I gave you the example of my client who was told not to sing, and it was all throat chakra stuff. Interestingly enough, I had the same thing. I have a terrible voice. And when I was in junior high in the chorus, my choral leader said, you might just want to mouth it. I'm like, okay. And the third eye, your third eye is about your intuition. So what if you were really intuitive as a child? What if you just had a knowing about things? And people got upset because you knew more than what was being shown, then you probably closed it down. Or maybe you had some other experiences and you didn't know what they meant, so you shut it down. And then your crown chakra, it's like if you got disconnected from source. And usually that's when we feel so unworthy or unvalued or unimportant that we lose our connection to our own power. So right now, today, with the blocks that you named, oh, and someone said shoulders, burning in the shoulders. Your shoulders represent what you feel. So it's like I'm being burdened, or I have to carry everything. Like I'm just like saddled with all this stuff. So that's usually what shoulders are. I see chronic pain during pregnancy. Well, if you didn't feel safe in your root chakra, bringing another child into the world is going to bring up safety issues, because if you didn't feel safe, how are you going to keep your child safe? Now, we're not saying you're conscious about this. We're saying it lives in your subconscious somewhere. All right. Oh, I love this. Becky at age 12 was told, I overreact and can't do anything about it. So in that moment, somebody took her power from her, whether it was her mother or father, like just whoever it was, a teacher, took your power away from you. So anyways, and someone's saying, my dad's screaming in mom's tummy, not safe, afraid to say what I know, feeling energy stuck in solar plexus and right here. Yes, Christine, that's exactly what would happen. All right, so all of you, it looks like very clear on where you feel some pain and why. And maybe if you don't know the why, that's okay. You don't even have to know the why. But what we're going to do is we're going to clear it right now. So what I want you to do is take a few deep breaths. And as you're taking a few deep breaths, I want you to bring the color white. And just let white run through your body. And as you're running white through your body, what I really want you to do is to say, I release, I'm complete, I'm done with this. I am honored to let it go. And now I want you to call back into you what you lost. If you lost your voice, you're going to call your voice back into you. If you lost your feeling of worthiness or that you matter or that you're important, you're going to call that in. If you lost your connection to safety, you're going to start a mantra that says, I'm safe and secure in everything I do. If you lost your power, you're going to say, I'm connected to my power and I own my true self. If you closed your intuition and your knowing, you get to call that back to you. Like, I'm in a place where I feel comfortable and confident and stepping in and opening up again. If it's about hips are all about moving forward. And lower back is about getting support in life. So if you have hip issues, it's about you're stuck. It's about time, your body, your soul wants you to move forward. So create a mantra for yourself. I can, I do move forward in everything I do. So let me know how you're feeling. You could either send me thumbs up or text in the chat. Because what we're going to do now is create, for some of you, I started to create the mantras. But really what I want to do is leave everyone with a mantra to call back that part of them that they lost. The confidence, the power, the sense of self, the knowing, the love, the value. Call it back. Keisha says, you hit the nail on the head. I never felt so safe being myself as a child. So a great one for you is, I'm safe and secure. I am safe. So let me go through the different mantras and pick one. And then just let me know which one you picked, because I'm going to charge it for you. So I'm safe and I'm secure. I own my full expression in the world. This is around your second chakra. If you have hip issues, I allow myself to take steps forward. If you have lower back issues, I welcome in support from others. If you have power issues, I stand in my own power. And for this one, for power, I really want you to do another exercise. And it's like you're going to go fishing. And imagine yourself, you have a fishing rod in your hand, and you're casting out to anyone that you might have given your power to. And you're reeling your power back into you. And when you reel it in, you're taking your hands and you're placing it back in you. So like you might have given your power to one of your kids or a neighbor or a coworker or a colleague or your husband or your wife, whoever you gave your power to. You're just going to go fishing, fish it back, and reel it in. And this is a good exercise to do for those that aren't used to standing in their power, because it will take a while before you stop giving away your power. Remember, you have these lifelong patterns, and we're trying to clear the big ones up today. For heart chakra, I am loved and lovable just the way I am. I am loved and lovable just the way I am. For the throat chakra, I get to express whatever I choose. I get to say whatever I choose. Because you have to know you're not going to hurt somebody with your words, but you don't have to shut down your own voice. For your intuition and your gifts, I would say I'm open to receiving them now. And for your crown chakra, it's a mantra, but it's more of a visualization of you sending energy up to your soul and then letting that energy flow down into you. So for your crown chakra, it's like send the white light up and then let that energy flow down into you. All right. Post in the group how you're doing. Oh, Laura's so great. She posted all the different mantras I was saying. Angela is, I am safe. Uma is, I stand in my own power. Cassie is, I stand in my power. I am valuable, safe, and secure. I use my voice. I stand in my power. I am safe and secure, and I stand in my power. You see how some of these, they're like intertwined, right? Like when we get hurt, it doesn't only go to one place. The energy gets stuck, it gets intertwined in different places. Alice, it's the low back is I allow support in. I think that's Alice. I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard to read some of these. Someone asked me a question. Can I say more than one mantra? Yes, you can, but I wouldn't say more than two. And what a mantra does is really helps you to retrain your brain. That's it. That's all a mantra does. It helps you to retrain your brain. And to help you to see yourself in a different light. Because what happens is we have this energy stuck. It creates new thought patterns for us. And so our neural pathways, which are where we hold our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, when we're up against that experience again, it's like it's a super highway to the old thought pattern. But what the mantra does is it disrupts the thought pattern and drives us to this new place. And it's like you're retraining your brain to think differently, to react differently, to see differently. So much of this is our perception, and you're retraining your brain to see, think, or feel differently. Okay, so I just dropped my thing. My dog came up and she's like all under my feet, so I wanted to make sure she had enough space. All right, so let me know how you're feeling. 1 is for not so great, 5 is for good, and 10 is for feeling great in this moment. And I love the ones. Oh, Julie's saying, I'm getting really dizzy and feel disoriented. There's so much coming from everywhere. Okay, Julie, so breathe into your body. And the very first day I taught you how to ground yourself. So bring your energy down into the earth And then you get to say, any energy that's not mine, I let go of. Mother Earth takes it. And then bring up some of Mother Earth's energy. A lot of times when we're super empathic, we absorb other people's energy. And so we really have to have a very quick way of throwing off energy that's not ours. So do that for a few minutes, Julie, and let me know how you're feeling. Okay, great. So people, lightness in my head. Yep. So here's the cool thing. When we start to change, when we start to shift, when we start to move, there will be a lightness in your head. Like I'm like breaking out with a little sweat, and some of it could be my own internal summer. But also when I start to use a lot of energy, my body starts to burn a little, because there's a lot of energy to help you guys clear things going from me to you. So know that your body needs to be taken care of. Know that you have to take care of yourself by having a practice of clearing, a practice of bringing energy up again. If you're feeling lightheaded, it's because we're breaking up those old neural pathways. So it's like all of a sudden, oh, I don't quite feel here or there. So that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And what you want to do now is then bring your energy down and ground it into the earth. And remember, the first day I was teaching you guys how to ground your energy. Lisa's saying feeling peaceful and a little sleepy, lightness in my head, feeling waves of vibration, tingling, body. Yep, you're coming alive, Latrice. Yes, perfect. Buzzing. My back is hurting as I'm sitting up. Okay, keep flowing. So, Nazine, I want you, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I want you to flow pink energy into your back. Just soothing pink energy. And I love all of these. Cassie, a little uncomfortable through the lower part of your forehead. So again, were you working on intuition? So lower part of forehead could be intuition, connection, but it could also be your neural pathways. And a lot of times, what we want to do is bust up that pathway so you could create a neural pathway that really supports you. So we have neural pathways around limiting beliefs. Now we want to create a neural pathway around an empowering belief. And that's what you're doing with these mantras. You're empowering yourself to see yourself differently, to hold yourself differently, to become different. All right. Yep. And actually, if you're feeling kind of tired, it's just because your mind wants to close down as the work's going on, and that's perfectly okay. Marilyn says, I feel very empowered and energized, unstuck. Many thanks. Also feel a bit dizzy. I'm grounding. Yes. Yep. So when you have reactions, especially when you start feeling dizzy or spacey or tired, know that it's because the energy is processing out of you. Your body's actually doing work to let it go and to bring in the new way of being. All right. Well, so I know we're getting to the end, but I want to share with you a few things that I've noticed this week. And this is from the people that have had the pleasure to be online with me, but for all those hundreds that are doing it by themselves. Here's the things that I've noticed just being in the energy of all of you. Remember, I said that we can step out of time and space. So even those that are doing it in replay format, you're connected in just by joining and listening, like you connect in and all the work can take place. So what I see and what I've been blown away by is how intuitive a lot of you are, and also how powerful a lot of you are, and how there's so much power and voice and wisdom and love that flows from you. The other thing I've seen is that each of you really feel like you want to make a contribution, like there is a place that you need to show up and maybe do work or be different or create something or open up some way of being. So whatever that is available to you, and you want to hold it as available to you. And what I want you to think about, like yesterday, I was struck by how many of you said you were healers, or you're opening, or you want to do powerful work in the world. And so I want you to just pause right now and pick one of those 5 words I gave you yesterday, which I don't actually remember the 5 of them because they were like downloaded, and it wasn't part of what I had planned. So I remember those 3. But I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself the question, are you ready to stand in what soul is calling for you? Or are you ready to stand in your best life? And you get to say yes or no or maybe, or I have so much stuff going on right now, I can't possibly take on another thing. But ask yourself that question. Because I ask people that question, 9 times out of 10, I find that there's 2 things. When women get of a certain age, and I won't say what that age is because there's so many younger wise women too, but you start to realize that your life experience here isn't just to support your family or to help or do different things, but it's really to make an impact. Or you want to leave a legacy behind, or you want to do work that's so meaningful that can shift or change other lives. So if that's you, just say yes. Yes, it is. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you've already went to yes. So yes, just say yes, I'm ready to step in. Yes, I want to bring my greatness into the world. Yes, I want to help and support others. If that's you, truly just connect to that and own it for yourself. And what I want to do is, if that's you, I want you to invite you to a call. And I think the call is called callmarianne.com. We try to make it as easy as possible because I can't remember anything. I want to invite you to a call to just have a conversation. And the conversation might be what other things you can do in life. It might be if you're passionate about wanting to do more work around yourself. I have a program called Journey of the Healer that I've been running now for 2.5 years, that I've had dozens and dozens of women go through it. And I have seen amazing changes from people that didn't have a voice to now suddenly leading their own groups, to people feeling undervalued or not who they want to be, to really reclaiming themselves and moving forward, to a lot of healers. So the group is really split. Some people just want to do the work on themselves so they can go out and do the work in the world, their work, whatever that is, whether they're still in business or they have their own businesses. And the work is for healers. If you are a healer or you want to become a healer, what I did was I took my 20 plus years of experience and all the downloads I got on how to heal people really fast, simple, elegant, and put it into a system and a process so that you can use it for yourself, for your loved ones, or as a business. If that's you and you're excited about that and it's resonating, then go to callmaryanne.com and sign up for a time to talk to me or to Laura. You'll get one of us. And just see what's possible and whether that's an interest to you. And if it's not you, it's not you. And that's perfectly fine too. All I know is that I am so passionate about giving women their voice, their power, their knowing, their connection, their intuition, and their greatest way of living their lives back to them. So that's my passion. And that's why I do this work. And that's why I love, love, love to do the trainings to help heal, to just help people transform into their best selves. There's no other work that is so fulfilling and rewarding. So I have thoroughly enjoyed spending this week with you. I hope the activations that you have that are now working really well work for you. Oh my God, I'm already getting confirmations of people signing up. I hope that you go on your journey and keep using the things that I taught you because they're lifelong tools for you to ground, to connect, to open your intuition, to practice on in little ways and big ways. On when you come across a red light, just naming it. When your phone rings, try to determine who's on it before you look down. Using your intuition, your inner knowing. Thinking about the different modalities and how you get that information. Learning about vibration and how do you get yourself into your highest vibration. And why you want to be in your highest vibration so that you can do your best work in the world. And today we did everything around releasing old blocks, stuck energy that's in your way of doing what you can do. So I hope you enjoyed the program. I enjoyed being here with you and learning about you. And, it's so funny because there's a lot of you. And yet, because I go into your energy to do the work, there's also an intimacy, there's a connection. There's a knowing of who you are at a whole different level. So I feel really privileged that you allowed me into your lives. You've taken your time out of your busy week to be present to this work, to open up and to take the steps that you really want to take to get to your most glorious self. And I'd love you to be one of the next people that I get to tell stories about of how you moved into your most powerful selves, of how you broke through old, stuck something or other, of how you applied energy work or energy healing into corporate structures or your own business, or you stepped into you being a healer. So with that, I leave you all with lots of love. And I'm looking down to see if I can send any hearts to you. But of course, I don't really know Facebook all that well. So I guess I can't. Thank you, Fiona, I'm getting lots of hearts. Thank you. That always makes me feel really excited and joyful when I see your excitement. Remember to go through the work. This is your last day, by the way. I think it's the last day, or maybe tomorrow is, that you get the replays and the activations. So if you want to keep having access to it, make sure you just sign up for the VIP access pass, and then you get to keep everything. All right, everyone. My love, my gratitude to all of you. Have an amazing day. Take care.